Episode 267. If you can't change your mind, you can't change anything.
You're listening to the very best podcast in the world on health, wealth, and happiness. Please remember to leave a review and share with all your friends and family. And here is your host, Lars Hilser.
And just like that, it's Tuesday, folks. Welcome to the very best podcast in the world, your only source in the universe for personal supremacy through health, wealth, and happiness. This episode almost died because we had this spike of the moment renovation thing going on, and it was quite tough to get things through and to get everything reassembled so that we can be together on this, well, it wasn't such a gorgeous day. I have to admit the weather was pretty shitty, and I looked like a Dalmatian with all of these white dots of paint on everywhere. Anyhow, long story short, what came to my mind when making this change was really the thing that you have to be able to change your mind, or rather change your mindset, because you won't be able to change anything if you're incapable of doing that. Change is not only essential in a variety of other ways, but primarily change, or the willingness, the openness to change, is important for your life to progress, for your life to excel, and for your life to change for the better or the worse. Most of the times for the better, I hope. And that's why this episode is going to be about change and the explanation of what change can mean, and what it can entail, and positive, negative outcomes, etc., etc. But not before we've gone through our daily housekeeping chores. Item number one of which is, like every day, that sharing is caring. So I appeal to you to share this content, not because that I would be making a measly buck out of it, but mainly because the content you get here is pretty much the same content you can buy for thousands of dollars from the wallet rapists out there. Who flash their Bentley keys to their loaned Bentley, or whatever it is at the end of the day that they do to entice you to change your life, with slimy tactics, I would say, to open your wallet, and then if your wallet is drained, then they're gonna tell you, hey, you can max out your credit card for this next course because it's all going to come back, and eventually it doesn't. There's tons of people out there who are broke, and that's why, you get the same motivational content here with a good piece of advice here and there based on my roller coaster life that I've been through. And that's why, share the content to prevent your friends and family to be ripped off by these wallet rapists out there. Anyhow, item number two is that the views herein are my own, yada, yada, blah, blah, don't reflect anyone, blah, blah, blah. And item number three, as you have heard, again, remodeling mode is still going on. So therefore, the episodes are going to be a bit shorter, a bit more concise. While they used to be up to half an hour long, I'm trying to, grab myself by the nuts and, try to be finished within 10 minutes to give you that daily little piece of advice that you could use in your future life, or send it to others to prevent being wallet raped. So now that we have that covered, one of the most important things is about change is that you have to be able to control your emotions while you move on and go to the next part of your life, to change your life. And here's why. There's literally no one that has made a good decision based on emotions, right? On emotions alone. Yes, they play a vital role in making a decision and initiating change or an iteration of your life. Absolutely. And they should be a part of it, because otherwise, you'd be one of these many sociopaths running around, and we don't want that, right? So kindness, awareness, and the heart and the soul and the mind should all be in combination and well balanced to be able to make a holistic decision if you want to change your mind. So most importantly, to initiate change is to change your mind about goal setting. So why is goal setting important? Well, goal setting is you have to have something to work towards. You have to have a trigger to initiate change. And that's why, it's insanely important that you have at any point in life goals that you want to achieve, and if you are in the lucky position, then, where you don't really need goals anymore, even then, you should have something that, gets you out of bed in the morning. Because if that gets lost, then, yeah, your life's pretty shitty. But without meaning that all too condescending, I've been in the position myself where I said, I don't need to get up, right? But I still got up, and even today it's like, yeah, you have increased responsibility. So most of the times I need to get up in the morning. I don't have to, but, I really want to, right? It's, if it's not to get my better half on the road safely and securely, it's, to walk the dog or, to do something really, to read, to entertain the mind, to chop some wood while listening to podcasts or, whatever it is at the end of the day. The goals are fundamental. And that's what you have to keep in mind. So what do we mean by goals? We went through that a few episodes ago, where we had like the strategic goal, like the 10, 20, 30-year plan, maybe, when do you want to retire? Is that something that you want to aspire? And goals are insanely important to keep your drive up and running. And like I said, even though I'm in the position where I wouldn't need to, it's still, some goals that I set myself just to be able to, to keep myself entertained, to learn, because that's really what life to me is about and always has been, is learning, developing new skills, refining them, and just making the world tick a little bit better for me and, those people around me. And that's really the set of goals that I have. I mean, pretty much for the rest of my natural life, I guess. Maybe that'll change. But I don't know yet. I'm very, very, very comfortable, despite the fact that, things can be stressful even if you don't need stress anymore. But change can be anything, right? It can be anything. And it's, for instance, change your mind about friendships, right? Do you have friends where in your sphere of influence who are holding you back, right? And I'm not talking about friends giving you, critical advice. I've got one of those, and he's constantly nagging about pretty much any one of my moves, and that's really empowering for me, because it gets me, doesn't really get me down to earth, because I've got my plans and I want to fulfill them. And I've always been the go big or go home type of personality, right? But it's a good counterpart to that mindset to have someone in your sphere of influence that says, look, slow down. Right? Look at it from another perspective. Then, tell me that same crap you just told me. And most of the time I was, without iterations, able to basically convey that same thing over again, because it had manifested so broadly in my mind, or, was anchored so steady in my mind that I was like, this is the plan, dude, and I'm going to pursue it. Right. Whether or not I'm successful with it, I don't know. Let's see in a year, maybe, or two, or, in the worst case, hell, if money runs out, then we'll start to deviate from that original plan. But that goes to say that, that's not necessarily someone holding you back that gives you, critical advice, right? Or a critical review of what you present to them. No, the ones holding you back, for instance, are, those people who are, what you would call energy vampires, who constantly see everything in a negative light, who constantly put themselves in a defensive position, who constantly put themselves in a position of negativity, of nagging everything down, and then coming to you, however, if they have a problem and looking for hours and hours and hours to discuss while you've presented the solution to them 30 or 40 times in a phone call lasting hours, right? And those are the people who we stick around because, they were sandbox buddies or something. But at the end of the day, those people are toxic. They're toxic because they, not only pull you down because they demotivate you, but they also pull you down because they steal your time and they don't want a solution. They just want to nag, right? And those are the people you might as well get rid of, but we stick around them because it's polite. And that's really where things start to become insanely sloppy, But anyhow, long story short, the title is If You Can't Change Your Mind, You Can't Change Anything. And that's really what this episode is about. It is about embracing change, embracing the idea of change and not being afraid of it, right? You're not a horse with your blinders on going through New York City in shitty traffic. You take those fucking blinders off, man, and just go for it, right? If you get an opportunity to take a new job somewhere in another part of the world, go for it, right? And if you feel ready for it, actively apply for jobs around the globe. Why not? What have you got to lose? Right? At the end of the day, that's really those new experiences, living in different cultures and being exposed to different nationalities and different methodologies of work was, for me, I think, one of the most important experiences in my life. And listen to this again. One of the most important experiences in my life. And I think this is advice I give particularly to young people who don't have the complications of having kids around, or a spouse that depends on you. If you're free, quote unquote, what the hell have you got to lose, right? If your folks are still around, right, and everything goes south, have your $1,000 in cash with you always to buy a plane ticket home. If things fail, they can. And that was one of the golden rules. I always had an extra travel wallet with $1,000 and 1,000 euros and, many different currencies just to be able to buy a fucking plane ticket and go home, right? If need be, right? Know where your embassy is. That's pretty important. If you get fucked over and your passport is gone or something, know where your national embassy is if you're in a foreign country, and have a few $1,000 bucks in different currencies on you so that you can always buy a plane ticket, go home if anything goes south. And that's pretty much the advice I give to really a lot of folks out there, because the world has so much more to offer than you would believe if, you're one of those people who hasn't left your country, and, all of those kind of good things that other cultures have to offer have been, kind of blocked out from your life until now. It's about changing. And that's really the point of this episode that we're going to close on right now, because I've already jumped my 10 minutes again. As pretty much every day. But hell, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. So in that sense, have a nice rest of your Tuesday. Embrace change if you've already had your Tuesday. And have a good night. Leave your hands above the blanket. We'll be in touch tomorrow when we will be talking about money and time. See you, folks. Peace out.